we're going to talk about what we did last year in 2019 and how that leads into where we're going in 2020. Next thing, believe it or not, we're going to talk about what we've got planned for 2020. Hey everybody, it's Drew from CoMo Comic Books. Just wanted to check in with you all, doing a little format change today. So you probably noticed I got a microphone right here. Hopefully the video quality is a little better. I know in the past I've just tried to do some Facebook Live videos, quick iPhone video, trying to step up some of the production value as we move into 2020, and figured I'd start that off by just giving you guys a quick rundown of what 2020 is going to look like for CoMo Comic Books. We'll run through 2019 right quick. It was a different year for us, really. 2018, we were all over the place, did the highest number of shows we've done to date, which, not to make it sound like we were road warriors or anything, I believe we did 10 shows in 2018. Step that back a little bit last year. In my real life, the 9-to-5 job, things were pretty crazy, and that unfortunately bled over into the amount of time and energy I had to really put into CoMo last year. So what you saw was, in the summer, I work in the mortgage industry, and that's our Christmas time. So summer, you didn't see us out a lot. Thankfully, we started off the year pretty heavy. So we got a few shows in the winter months, and then we came back around in the fall and had several shows. And all in all, we had a great year. Planet for us last year in Kansas City was the best show we've had there. And I've been setting up at Planet. I think we've taken 1 year off since 2012. Looking back over those 8 years, my first ever comic convention was Planet Comic Con 2012. And I hit the ground running. I actually ran a table for Rock Bottom Comics that I'm affiliated with here in town. I run their social media and stuff. So that was my first comic experience, was walking in as a vendor. So can you imagine walking in your first Comic-Con, not knowing what's going on, setting up at a table, just trying to sell some comics, make a little bit of money. Needless to say, I was hooked, because it wasn't long after that CoMo Comic Books came into existence, and I can't even tell you how many shows I've been to since then. So 2019, while we didn't have as many shows, I think the quality of shows we did were great. We hit a lot of great towns. We were in Kansas City, St. Louis, Lawrence, Kansas, Springfield, Illinois, Springfield, Missouri, Columbia, Missouri, and a couple of those we hit more than once. So it was still a pretty good year for us as far as getting around and seeing a lot of different faces and meeting different folks. Now, the bad deal with that is that St. Louis, we haven't seen you guys in almost a year. It was February of last year, 2019, the last time CoMo Comic Books was able to set up at a show in St. Louis. And that's just because, like I said, everything was crazy at work, and I had a lot of time conflicts, so I wasn't able to get to some of the later shows last year. And I'm looking forward to coming back, and I hope you guys are looking forward to having us back as well. And we've got a lot of cool new stuff. I hope you guys are going to be excited about some of the things we picked up since we've last been there. A lot of great wall books, a lot of discount books. We're going to have a wide variety for you. So to bring it all back, 2019, great year, kind of hectic. Sorry you didn't see us out quite as often as you had the year before, but 2020, we're hoping to get that fixed. So now, looking ahead to 2020, 2020 is going to be a wild year. It's going to be a big year for CoMo Comic Books. It's going to be a big year for Midwest comic book collectors. The Facebook group that Bob Riddle, who founded it and is one of the administrators, I'm the other administrator. It's going to be a big year for this Facebook group. Right now, we're over 300 members, which isn't bad, in my opinion, for a group that basically started as a place for a bunch of us around Columbia to get together and just, chew the fat over comics online. A lot of us used to do that in person in Rock Bottom and still do. This was just a way to bring more people into the fold. And, when real life gets in the way and you aren't able to make it down to the shop to be there in person, this kind of helps keep you plugged into the community while you're there. Since then, we've grown massively. There are people from all over the Midwest, and I don't mean some narrow-minded definition of Midwest. We've got people from literally 2-3 states away in almost every direction. So that's great. What you're going to see this year is you're going to see Midwest comic collectors sponsor a comic book show in Columbia, Missouri. We are working out details now and trying to get a date set for that. We pretty well have already picked our location, so things are starting to come together. We don't have anything we want to announce just yet, other than the fact to be on the lookout for some more details coming about this show. I think everybody's going to be excited about it. The show is going to be what's really coming back into vogue right now in comic shows. It's not going to be the major convention where you've got guests from movies, TV, pop culture, what have you. It is going to be an opportunity for comic book vendors, toy vendors, primarily just those guys, to get together with customers here in central Missouri who, they need an outlet. We've got some great local comic shops in the area. We're fairly limited in the supply of books that come in. There are still collections that pop up around here from time to time, but for the most part, there's not a lot of fresh books that come into the market in the center of the state the same way that they do in the major metro areas like Kansas City, St. Louis, and so forth. So having a show like this is a great way to bring in vendors from outside the area and really kind of cast a wider net into the books and collectibles that you have access to. Over the years, we've made a lot of friends with vendors from various locations, and we're really looking forward to having everybody out to take part in this first show. The goal is to have really affordable, if any, admission charge, cheap tables for the vendors. We just really want to keep this old school and really make it a fun, laid back, exciting opportunity for people to get in and really get, elbow deep in some comic boxes and hopefully find some books that they haven't added their collection just yet. So like I said, stay tuned for that. We'll get more details out as soon as they're available. Next, 2020, new things going on. Let's talk about some shows that we've got on the books. It's still early in the year, so confirmed shows, and by confirmed I mean shows that we've told the promoter we want the space, we've paid for the space, and the date's announced, just everything signed, sealed, and delivered, ready to go. We've got 2 shows right now that we are confirmed for 2020. The first of those is February 16th. We're going to be in the Manhattan Antique Marketplace, which is in St. Anne, Missouri, for the STL MicroCon. And this is the one I'm excited about because it's been a year since we've been to St. Louis. And I can't wait to get back and see some of those familiar faces from the east side of the state and just to get back out. And looking forward to getting back out there and seeing everybody. So the STL Comics MicroCon, it's going to be a great opportunity to really get first dibs at some of the great books we've picked up over the last year. We've still got a lot of them. We did some pretty serious picking in September last year after and around Free State Comic-Con out in Lawrence, Kansas. And some of those books we've moved since. The overwhelming majority are still available. You're talking Giant Size X-Men #1. We have Marvel Superheroes 13, the first Carol Danvers. Single Digit X-Men, Single Digit Avengers. The first appearance of the Mandarin from Tales of Suspense 50. Just so many great books. A lot of them do tend to be Silver Age Marvel, but if you guys know me very well, you know that's the stuff I really get excited about. We do have a few Silver Age Batman books that are still around, but for the most part, Columbia's tough. We don't find a lot of DC books of significance. So check it out. I think you'll be excited about what we've got. I'll get some pictures up over the next couple weeks of some of the books that we'll be bringing, just to kind of give everybody an idea of what to expect with that. So keep an eye out. If you're not following us on Facebook, not in the Midwest Comic Book Collectors Group, definitely check those out, because that is where we really push a lot of the information about where we're going to be, things we picked up, mail calls, whatever. Do those things and you'll be up to date with everything that's going on with CoMo Comic Books. Our next show after the STL Comics Microcon is going to be Planet Comic Con in Kansas City. Back at Bartle Hall again. Planet has definitely grown into Bartle Hall. They take up every square inch of it. And this is always our biggest show of the year, and we really can't be more excited about it. If you haven't gone to Planet before, I recommend it. This year's guest list is really shaping up nicely. You're going to have some people that you just don't see in this area very often at this year's show. It's going to be a good time. And the dates for Planet are March 20th through the 22nd. You can get tickets, hotels, all that stuff online through their website. But if it's not on your radar, I encourage you, pull up their website, check out the guest list, get some tickets, and keep an eye out, because I will be putting together a map. I'll post it on our social media accounts so you can get on there and know as soon as you walk in the hall, as soon as you come up that escalator onto the show floor, you will know where to go to find CoMo Comic Books. And you're going to want to check us out early, because there's a lot of people. And we move through stuff pretty quick at that show. So keep an eye out. Another thing I want to let everybody know about. The CoMo family is growing. CoMo Comic Books is no longer by itself. I recently started a new venture called CoMo Vintage Toys, and expanding into the action figure business a little bit. As of right now, we're still working on building our inventory, getting out, getting established social media, building contacts, checking out toy shows, really just learning the ropes on a lot of this stuff. But it's been fun. I have recently been reacquiring a lot of the toys I had as a kid, and by reacquiring I mean bringing them from my mom's house to my house, and much to her delight, they're no longer in her basement, but in doing so, really taking an interest in the toy side of things. And as this continues to grow, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to, in the same way that we have with CoMo Comic Books, hoping that CoMo Vintage Toys is going to be able to help people restore that connection with their childhood, whether it's through an action figure that they had as a child that, got sold at a garage sale, or got lost or damaged, or any of the hundreds and hundreds of things that can happen to these very nostalgic items. So keep an eye out for CoMo Vintage Toys, coming soon to a toy show near you. And, we may even work on a few things at a comic show here and there as needed. Bob willing. Bob is not excited about our venture into toys, but, stuff happens. I hope you've all enjoyed our first video. Forgive any of the rookie mistakes I'm making. I'm sure they're out there. I encourage you to like our page, share our post, share this post, and subscribe to our YouTube page. Yeah, we're starting a YouTube page. That's where this video is going to live. When you do that, you're going to be able to keep up with everything that's going on with CoMo Comic Books, that's going on with Midwest Comic Collectors, that's going on with CoMo Vintage Toys. And when you are up to date with what's going on with all of those things, and you live in the Midwest, you're going to know what's going on, because we are going to keep you up to date about the shows that are happening in the area, the news in the industry, and we're going to be there to celebrate with you the great moments that happen to you as the year goes on with your collection, whether it's a great mail call you're excited about, you found something in your collection you forgot you had, whatever. We're going to build a community. We're going to be there. We're going to support each other. We're going to have a great time doing it. Thank you, everybody. Look forward to doing this some more. See ya.